Welcome back to the news at 10. Officials of the Department of Petroleum Resources have again pledged that there's no going back on its 2 million naira fine for depot owners who sell petroleum products above the official price. The Assistant Director of Operations at the Abuja Zonal Office, Mr. Ahmad Alaku, says the days of sharp practices by marketers are over, as the full weight of the law will be visited on anyone who fails to abide by the rules. He gave the warning when some officials of the agency visited fuel stations in the Federal Capital Territory and the neighboring Nasarawa state. To the sad one, where 10 people have been confirmed dead in a road accident which occurred in the Obafemi Owode local government area of Ogun State on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. 6 others are said to be in critical condition. The Ogun State Deputy Corps Commander of the FRC, who confirmed the accident, explains that it occurred around 2 p.m. and was caused by dangerous driving on the part of the driver of a Mazda bus, which rammed into a truck at a road division on the expressway. Now, residents of Gujba local government area in Borno State are crying out over many issues, including lack of potable water in their area. The residents who are returning to their homes after the Boko Haram insurgency forced them to flee are also faced with infrastructure decay. Our community report tonight takes a look at the people's plight and the Yobe State government's efforts to solve the problem.
Now you're talking. Following the military's recapture of towns in Yobe State from the Boko Haram insurgents, residents have begun to return to their homes. In Gujba local government area, about 17 communities have returned to pick up their pieces and eke out a living. While some have set up businesses for themselves, others continue to count their losses. It's not easy for residents here. They're faced with various challenges such as shortage of potable water, healthcare facilities, good roads, schools, among others. Relief have come their way with the delivery of this water drilling equipment to rehabilitate boreholes vandalized during the crisis.
Those communities who have returned to their various communities will get something to, at least water to drink. So immediately after this exercise, a technical committee was set up to install some of the equipments and then rehabilitate some of the water facilities in Gujba local government areas. And this exercise is going to be a continuous exercise. We are just starting.
These are the part of the materials recently procured, and any moment from now the committee will see into action to see that the boreholes are rehabilitated in good time. Maximum of 10 days, I think, the 16 boreholes will be rehabilitated and put into use. The local government in conjunction with Water Corporation have sat down and took inventory of those boreholes that are broken down. But Buniyadi community are yet to return. These communities we are rehabilitating now are those communities that have inhabitants within them.
For the residents, it's a welcome development, but they still have more requests.
We wanted to call on the military authorities to open up this Pt.3 road, because once there is a movement of people in that area, it will enhance movement of people and encourage more people to go back to their villages. So we are still calling that apart from the bringing in those structures, we also wanted the activity of market in these villages to be allowed, so that people can come out, they can go to the market, they purchase their soups and so on, so that there will be livelihood, unlike what we are now having.
Though life is gradually returning to the liberated communities, but not without the presence of security personnel who are here to protect the residents and sustain the peace.
The Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano has restated his commitment to complete all projects initiated by the past administration. The governor was speaking during the commissioning of roads in 3 communities in the Anambra Central Senatorial Zone. He also promised to initiate more projects that will attract investors to the state.
This is the newly constructed 9-kilometer Enugu-Nimo Okacha Junction Neni Road. Before now, this road was in shambles until the intervention of the state government. But now, business activities has resumed and the market is busy again. Governor Willie Obiano has come to flag off the road.
Started by my predecessor and completed by his administration, to the glory of God. After I was elected, I came here, this market, and the road was so narrow and we had all kinds of challenges. But I'm happy it's a big road already.
The residents are not unmindful of what impact this would have on the socio-economic activities of the area.
So many people will promise so many things and do maybe one out of the many or none at all. But your method of governance has given everybody hope in this state.
A fanfare greeted the governor's arrival at Obeledu, where another 3.5-kilometer road is commissioned. The road, aside linking several communities, will decongest the heavy traffic usually seen at the Okacha Junction, Neni, especially during festive seasons. The 2.5-kilometer road at Akweze community is another area Governor Obiano commissioned. The state government is appealing to residents, especially traders, to take ownership of government infrastructure and desist from heaping refuge inside the drainage channels.
Now, diversification was the focus of discussions at the African Petroleum Congress and Exhibition. Participants called on federal authorities to explore the utilization of local resources to give the country's oil and gas sector global competitive advantage. Our correspondent, Omolego Nnadi, reports.
Different sectors of Nigeria's economy need rapid development, and Nigerian youths need employment, and these can be tackled domestically. This is the direct implication of the issues that form the agenda at this discussion among oil industry players at today's African Petroleum Congress dialogue. With the increasing need to focus on diversification of the economy, these policymakers and captains of industries are brainstorming on how maximum use of local content and local capacity can contribute to the upstream and downstream value chain.
How are we using these resources to negotiate what will benefit the Nigerians? Because today, out of 170 million people, not up to 5% we can say are really very comfortable. When you look at it, education is a challenge, employment is a challenge. So we need to use these oil resources to develop all of these areas.
The key lessons from here is that local content must be a national agenda. For APA, we're saying it must be a continental agenda.
But ACA Group of companies, known for its widespread operations in oil and gas, marine services and petrochemicals, boasts of efficient utilization of local resources and development of local capabilities, an area management of the company promised to further explore as they unveil their most recent achievement, the ISO TS 29001-2011 certification.
There are enormous opportunities for people that value integrity. And right now in ACO Group, there are 35 companies to be run by people who value integrity. So those opportunities are put out there. There are great opportunities in this country.
Encouragement for local partnerships and development of small and medium-scale operations might pose a challenge in the face of evolving oil and gas downstream petroleum sector. But with companies such as ACO Group PLC, local financing for local value-adding strategies in the sector are assured. Omelogo, Nadi Channels Television News.
You first. First Bank.
All right, now let's take a look at some business news. The National Assembly has proposed a total sum of 115 billion naira as its budget for the 2016 financial year, and that's according to a document released today. Recurrent expenditure is proposed to consume 102.3 billion naira out of the summary total, while capital spending by the two legislative houses was projected at 12.6 billion naira. The Senate has a total proposed budget of 30.2 billion naira, while the lower house was seen at 47.2 billion. The document shows spending on legislative aids will consume 9.6 billion naira, general services of the Assembly will cost 9.4 billion, while the overall management of the National Assembly will cost 11.6 billion naira. Well, there's an urgent need for a national shipping policy that will help improve the coordination of the maritime sector here in Nigeria, and that's according to an expert, a maritime expert, Mr. Oluwole Akinyeye. Proffering solutions to the insecurity challenges in Nigeria's maritime sector, Mr. Akinyeye says only a shipping policy can help transform the sector.
Basically, there should be a shipping policy in Nigeria that would have to deal with pending issues that are affecting the maritime sector. Issues such as security, local content, pending bills, issues that have to be dealt with. That policy would address all these issues. Now, the reason why there has to be a policy in place, aside from these issues, is how can we make our maritime sector vibrant and buoyant? A vibrant and buoyant maritime sector would add value to the economy of the country, which, as we understand it now, is undergoing some form of constraints.
What's happening with the oil prices? Well, they rose today following an announcement that producers will meet next month in Qatar to discuss a proposed freeze output. Brent crude futures were up $1.31 at $40.05 a barrel. Now, according to Qatar's oil minister Mohammed bin Salah Al Sada, the oil producers within and outside OPEC hold talks in Doha on April the 17th. The minister said in a statement that about 15 OPEC and non-OPEC producers, accounting for about 73% of global oil output, also supported the haircut initiative. Kuwait's acting oil minister says his country has agreed to take part in the April meeting. Now, food giant Nestlé has announced its 2015 earnings that show continued recovery on all the key items on the firm's profit and loss account. Fourth quarter sales and net profit were up 6% and 21% each on year-on-year basis, while finance costs were trimmed down 80% to 562 million naira. According to management statements, sales were driven by 8% growth in food business segments. Nestlé reports 29.3 billion naira as pre-tax profit, which investment firm FBN Quest says was broadly in line with consensus estimates of 28 billion naira. The company is proposing a final dividend of 19 naira or 3% dividend yield and a total dividend of 29 naira. While the bearish momentum at the equities market closed the midweek session in the south, here's Bisi Adebayo with more details.
Hello and welcome to the stock market reports. The losing streak at the Nigerian stock market continued at midweek trading owing to huge volume of trades recorded on Unity Capital Assurance. Over 4 billion units of shares were transacted for 4.68 billion naira in 4,125 deals. Leading to a loss of 0.34%, the key broad index closed the day at 25,657.48, with the market capitalization still hovering around the 8.8 trillion naira mark. The massive trades of 4.16 billion units on Unity Capital Assurance outweighed the banking stocks as Zenith Bank and UBA come next. Market breadth came in negative as only 9 stocks appreciated in price against 24 laggards. Wando led the trail of decliners by 9.54%. Tiger Brands and EcoBank Transnational Incorporated eased by 6.25% and 4.98% each. However, Dangote Sugar strengthened by almost 5%, with Unity Bank recording 4.69% and Champion Breweries closing by 4.33%. That ends the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Thanks a lot, BC. We're not done yet. Let's take a look at how the markets fared across the world.
First. First Bank.
Still ahead on the news at 10, FIFA begins efforts to reclaim millions of dollars in alleged bribe money seized by US federal prosecutors from its members. And that will be on sports. Stay with us.